Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's on us. It's on us in the room. I mean, we're the product on the ice, so uh, it's unfortunate that that had to happen because Phil's not the one playing the games, and I've said this to you guys before. It's it's on us as players to be better on the ice every night, and that's it hasn't been good enough. The product on the ice hasn't been good enough, so it falls on nobody but ourselves.
Where do you think the disconnect between the players and Phil grew in that last 45, 50 games?
I mean, I'm not sure there was really a disconnect. I think maybe we were looking for answers, and when things went bad, I think guys probably were looking for answers, and I mean, I think it kind of spiraled a little bit, and it was kind of just hard to. I think we were trying to find something, grasp on something that was going on early in the year, and we just couldn't quite find it again. And like I said, I think that kind of spiraled a little bit, unfortunately. But I mean, disconnect. I mean, we talked with Phil frequently as a group, leaders. I mean, I don't think there was a huge disconnect between the two of us. At the end of the day, we just didn't get it done on the ice, and that's the nature of the business. I mean, it's a competitive league, as you know, and it's tough to make that jump from the situation that we're in to the playoffs. I mean, look at how competitive the playoff race was this year. Montreal had a great year, and they don't make it. You know what I mean? Columbus basically sells the farm to get into the playoffs, and they barely do it, with the team that they had. So it's a competitive league. Every night, every point, it matters. And there were spurts of good hockey, and there were spurts of some really, really good things. And there's some things to be happy about, but consistently it wasn't there enough. And you can see it with the fact that, I mean, we didn't win 2 games in a row till the end of the year.
Jack, do you feel as a group, I'm not just saying you, I'm talking as a group, you guys maybe need to practice better, need to maybe prepare for games better or differently? Maybe would be the word.
Well, I mean, I think you can always look at things. I mean, when things don't go well, you can always look at stuff and say, well, we need to do this better, we need to do that better. And practice is something that, as a group, we can definitely do better. I mean, I think you can always get better at practice. You can get crisper, you can get harder. For sure. I think we've made strides in terms of a group. In our practice habits, I think they've gotten a lot better over the last few years. I mean, last year compared to this year, I think our practices were a lot better. I think the pace was better. I thought at times, I mean, it's a long year. I mean, at times practice isn't going to be great. But, I mean, if you're comparing last year to this year, our practices are a lot better. If you're comparing, where we want to get to where we are, yeah, of course we want to get better. We want to improve on our practice habits. We want to improve on a lot of things. And, I think that'll go a long way with our preparation for games.
Jack, of all the losses that piled up this year, how important is it for this franchise to get a win in bringing back in getting Jeff to come back?
Well, obviously, that's the nature of the business is Jeff Skinner has to at this time worry about Jeff Skinner, and this is his livelihood. So he's going to make a decision. This is all out of my control. Obviously, we love Skins. I love Skins. He's an unbelievable person. He's an unbelievable hockey player, and I mean, we want him in the room just as much as you guys do. I mean, he's really close with all the guys. He adds a great dynamic to our team. You can't say enough good things about him. He scored 40 goals this year on top of everything. So, we definitely would love to have him in the room, but. That stuff's going to take care of itself this summer.
I know you've mentioned what happens in the room kind of stays in the room, but as a guy who wears the C on his chest and is a leader, what has to happen from a leadership standpoint? I guess what was your message as the leader of this team kind of lost among the players this year in terms of what the expectation should be on a nightly basis?
Well, I think the expectations were there, and I think the message was clear. Like I said earlier, I think that at times I think the message got lost in terms of, it just wasn't followed through and carried out on the ice in terms of our performance.
Jack, kind of along those lines, Rasmus Dahlin was pretty open about, he said there needed to be more internal accountability
Yeah.
among players. As a captain of the team, you must have your finger on the pulse of that situation. What's your take on what he had to say?
I mean, I think you can always say that when things don't go well, you know. I mean, I think if you asked us in, November if we had enough accountability when we were winning, oh, yeah, we got enough accountability. But, like, even at that point, you can always have more accountability. You can always hold people more accountable. You know what I mean? I think that's – you can say that about anything, any job. You can always be harder on people to be better. I mean, that's the nature of the business. And I think that, us just like anybody, we can definitely be more accountable. But at the end of the day, I mean, accountability is, whether or not you go out and perform on the ice. So that's where it lies, I think.
But as part of getting to that, and he seemed to indicate maybe when things went south this year, that players, guys in the room, needed to be tougher on each other. Do you agree with that?
I mean, to a point. I mean, like I said, I thought I just kind of answered this one. I think that with his group, you can always get more accountable. And when things weren't going well, I mean, it's tough. I mean, yeah, it's hard to be accountable when things aren't going well because the first person you got to be accountable with is yourself. So if things aren't going well with yourself, if you're not playing well, it's tough to hold somebody else accountable if you're not doing it. So that's kind of where I lie on that.
How do you think you grew as a leader this season?
What's that?
This is your first season
Yeah.
at the sea. How do you think you grew as a leader?
Well, I mean, I think there was a lot of ups and downs for sure. I think that you learn a lot, and I think I really learned a lot. I mean, there's a lot that I can take from this season. There were some highs, there were some lows. I mean, there's a lot to handle, and I just lean on the guys around me. I really leaned on Kyle and Bogo a lot this year. I mean, they're older guys. They've been doing it for a while, so more than anything, I just try and be myself every day. Try and bring a good attitude. Try and work hard at practice. And I think I did a lot more listening, just trying to see where guys are. Feel situations out. I think in the past maybe I was more of like an act right away, maybe act off emotions, act right, and I think I tried to, see people in the light of where they're coming from in situations and kind of just listen and take a step back, and I think it was good for me, just like anybody. I can be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna grow. But it's it's an evolving process. I mean, I think I've taken strides from last year, and I plan on taking some really big strides to next year. So that's.
You put up
As
career
the
numbers.
captain.
Nick, you put up career numbers this year. You put up career numbers this year, and still you haven't cracked that ceiling yet of maybe the top 10 or 12 players in the league.
Yeah.
There were a lot of shots you took this year. You talked about your shooting. What areas of your game do you need to improve on to really crack that?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I think I definitely took a lot of shots. I think it's just that honing in on bearing down on your chances in front of the net. I think, looking back, I mean, I could probably name 15 or 20 grade A's this year that I'd like to have back. That that probably makes me a 40-goal scorer and 100 points. So, like you said, it's. Every offseason, there's things you want to get better at, things you want to hone in on, and there's some things that I've noticed in my game that I think I can get better at. I think I took some strides this year as a player, but I think I had a really good first half of the season. I think the second half, I think it definitely took a toll on a lot of people, myself included, and I think getting injured in the middle of the year didn't help. Just dealing with that, I think it kind of lingered a little bit. And I think like the group a little bit, I was trying to find something that was going on in the beginning of the year, and when things weren't going well for us, I think it takes a toll and it wears on you. And I think there's still a lot of strides to be taken, like you said. I want to be an elite player in this league, and I want to be the best. So there's a long way to go. Obviously, there's a lot of really good players in this league, but I think I can be there with them. So I look forward to having a really, really good offseason and doing my best to be the best player I can be next season.
Jack, as much as you can, you have no control over the coaching search. Is there any one quality or something that you look for in who might be the next guy to maybe capture this team's imagination?
I mean, that's tough. Obviously, we just moved on from our coach yesterday. So it's a tough question for sure. Obviously we just want to get the most out of every player. I think that's a big thing. But I'm sure, Jason has an idea of somebody that he wants to work with, and he thinks that would be good for this group, and we'll let him do his thing there, and as a group we should just be worried about our play on the ice. We should be worried about being better for next season.
As the captain, do you feel the pressure of the fans to want a consistent winner on a nightly basis?
Absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's been a while here. It's wow. I mean, it's my 4th time doing this with you guys, so we don't want to be here. I mean, this isn't an easy day for anybody. It's a product of not being good enough, and it's not an easy day for us. It's not an easy day for our fans. Our fans deserve more, and there was glimpses of some really, really, really awesome stuff this year. I mean, at times it really got buzzing. I think even through all the tough times we went through, I think it says a lot that they were there, consistently for us. I mean, the last home game of the year, they come in and they really captured the attention of us as players in the room with the atmosphere, and obviously the way that they gave Palmer a standing ovation. I mean, it's a city that loves us, and they care so much, and there's such a positive outlook on our team even through the tough times, and I think that just says so much about the people here. And absolutely, as a team, I mean, we should want to, first and foremost, we want to do it for ourselves, because it's been a while here, and it's been a tough go, but of course we want to do it for the fans. I mean, they deserve it. And you talk to guys that I'd been here during the successful years, and they talk about how great it was, and obviously I think as a group we want to try and capture that, and capture for the fans, and capture for ourselves.
You just spent a 82-game season with Rasmus, Dahlin.
Yeah.
What's your impression?
Can't say enough good things. You guys obviously see him on the ice, and that there in itself is pretty incredible. But just being able to get to know him and interact with him every day, he's he's one of the best kids I've ever met, and to be as good a player as he is, and just be so humble and together, and he's really has it figured out, and it excites me to think about it, because I mean, he hasn't turned 19 yet, and I just think about when I was 18, where I was, and thinking about him and the strides he's going to make in the next few years. I mean, we couldn't be luckier to have him, and I just look forward to seeing him grow. I mean, he's going to be an absolute stud in this league. One of the best for sure. So we're super lucky to have him.